Alright there YouTube, here we are with the little tuning video here. Today we have the 2011 Ferrari FF. The reason why I wanted to pick this car was because I seen a guy in a lobby head and I thought, wow, that looks pretty cool. So I thought I'd make one of my own. So it doesn't really cost too much, it only costs $280,000. He had an orange color. Matter of fact, he had this color, but I'm about to go black. So we got it all blacked out. We're gonna get some rims on it and start upgrading it. Now, it is an all-wheel drive, but right now we're gonna be swapping that to rear-wheel drive, so don't worry about that. You don't need to start freaking out saying, man, I don't like all-wheel drive. Hey, don't worry about that. Put that rear-wheel drive for you. Oh, that's a big, that's a huge difference from A-Class to S-Class right there. So anyway, we're gonna start upgrading. As you can see, it already has 800 horsepower. No doubt about it, this car can get to 900. If you already know me, I love putting drag tires on my car and front tire lift, no rear tire lift. Don't need that. And the rims we're gonna have just to make it look like a little VIP-ish. Let me see if I can find it. I think maybe in this section right here. And it is these rims right here, the Bonneville Series 391. These are my favorite rims for like vans or wagons or any kind of luxury car in this game. Makes it feel like it's VIP-ish. That's just what I'm saying. So I don't think you need to adjust the rim size. I think the rim size is just fine for it. Yep, that's the first time I don't have to adjust rim size for a car. So now we're going to be adding the race transmission and etc. Race differential. You don't want to be drifting on one wheel. That's not going to work out too well. And you want to continue with just adding your springs and anti-roll bars and weight reduction. You don't want a heavy car to drift with. I know I don't. So once again, to start upgrading the max horsepower, this is the points tune. If you're curious, if you're wondering why, I put all this power in my car, that's the reason why. I mean, you always should have room for more power. That's how I think it is. Because if you really don't want to use a lot of horsepower, just don't floor it all the way. So people shouldn't really complain about how much horsepower you use. Because if I was using 600 horsepower, I would be flooring it. Because the less horsepower you have, the less chance you have of spinning out. So we're gonna go at 55 psi in the front, 52.5 psi in the rear. Stabilization. The reason why the front is larger than the rear is so that your front will be pulling you and your rear will just be like sliding out your rear is going to be pulling you as well. So I can't really explain how this works. I didn't really think of how it works, so until I figure that out, I'll explain it in a different video. Anyway, the gears I just leave it stock until I feel it's a need to mess with, but with 1,000 horsepower I don't think that's needed. Camber, so I started doing this camber thing. Now you guys know whenever I make these videos, I'm starting to use negative camber now, just so that people will stop complaining and it doesn't really make a difference in my drifting. So I'm gonna go at a base of negative 2.5, negative 3.5 rear. Toe is always gonna be 5.0 out, and then rear will be about 2.5 out. And then front caster, I don't really notice a difference in it except whenever I'm drifting. It feels like I can't hold a large angle, so I would always put that at 7.0. And springs. Now then, once again, I don't really notice a difference with these, so just to show you, I'll just leave it stock and just lower the ride height. Now then, for me, if the rear is always higher than in the front, I would always just raise the front to keep it balanced. I don't like having my car, like angled like that. I don't like that. I mean, I used to do it that way, but then I just stopped. So like I said, we're just going to skip the springs for now and just work on the, the main parts of the car. Now this right here, I've been experimenting with these. So how about we just leave this at 100, put this at 100 and put this at 75. We're going to see where this goes. But before we start, I'm just going to tint my windows. So when this thing decides to load, just spinning around. Come on. Come on, you. Wow. I think my game really just messed up from trying to tint windows, so that's a bit awkward. Wow. I cannot believe this game really screwed up from trying to load the tint windows. Sorry about that. Just give me a second to dashboard this. I mean, this is one of the main reasons why I decided to get a PS3, because even after I cleared my system cache every single time I play this game, it will start freezing again. Whenever it starts freezing, this starts getting my nerves. Because whenever I'm inside a good lobby with, a competition, it just all of a sudden wants to kick me out for no reason. Like, if there's someone that's coming close to my score, it just instantly kicks me out. But if I'm destroying somebody or talking to people, then it just lets me stay in. And then if I'm getting rammed, I'm the one who gets frozen out, which doesn't make any sense. Whenever I ram somebody else, I have to stay in. Like, I'm not really understanding this game. So my apology for wasting about 2 minutes on this whole loading thing. Guess I won't be tinting these windows because this game just doesn't want my car tinted. So just gonna go on with the tuning. Now the Gran Turismo video will be posted on Monday. I'm switching it up a bit. I know I did make a schedule, but since I got the PS3 now, I'm going to be having to switch or change the schedule. So whenever I learn how to tune correctly in Gran Turismo 5, then I'll be making tuning videos for that. But sadly, I don't have a lot of money in that, so if you have the PS3, make sure you add me. I'll post my PSN name in the description of the video so you guys can add me. I could use some money, not trying to be a beggar, but I do not like doing circuit racing just to get my money. I'd rather just like drifting my money, but I can't really drift and get money. So anyway, we're gonna go back to the whole upgrading and just go test drive. So I like picking different tracks to test drive my car on now, because just doing Maple Valley is gonna be the same thing over and over and over again. I think we need to find a track that shows true skill. So we'll pick this one because it's that big corner. A lot of people can't take that first corner at one, so I think it's best to show an example of me doing it, just so you guys can get an idea on how I do it. So the reason why I have the high PSI is mainly for tracks like these, and I can drift a little. I don't really like turning around, but that's just a force of habit. Yeah, I might as well just turn around anyway. Anyway, having high PSI for these tracks is perfect, but having high PSI for uphill is just going to kill you. You're not going to get anywhere. You're just going to start spinning out and oversteering. Now this is a bass tune. Keep that in mind. It's not really tuned yet. It's just going through the testing stage. That's usually what I do. And then usually I don't like, if I find a tune, or if I put my bass tune on a car and it's good, I think something's wrong. I think it's just that I'm either too used to the track, or I'm not in. I think I picked the wrong track. Because my points are a little too early for this, but you can see the car is doing fairly well with maintaining for long periods of drifting. But you have a problem, is that whenever I hold on my brake, the car is just swinging out how it's supposed to be. So that's a bad thing. So we'll have to figure that out. Now then, with 75% deceleration on your differential, feels like I'm losing a lot of torque in my wheels, and I don't like that. I'm not a guy who likes drifting with a little bit of torque. So obviously a simple fix. This is all good. This is all good. I may change this a bit, but this, for some reason, like I said, this feels good. But I think I need to up the ante on this a bit with that 3.5. Well, actually, you know what? The 3.3. So take this. We're gonna do a test to see if there's any difference at all. Maybe it's just a car. Maybe it's just me. But personally, I like when my cars have a constant wheel spin, and with 1,000 horsepower, you would think that your car will just wheel spin. Because I felt my car losing wheel spin during that. I think it's just my gearing. So my gear kind of died out in 4th gear, so I think we're going to start tuning our gears a bit. So put the acceleration up 4.0. First gear 3.48. Second gear 2.05. Third gear 1.41. I like to space them out just to make sure you get the right gear. Now then, 5th gear, we'll have this at, I don't know, 0.85, I guess, and then your 6th gear shall be at, let me see here. I'm trying to find like a perfect arch for this. You can see my gears are going in an arch. I'll have to draw a line for it. I'm not sure if I can do that, but I'll see if I can make some cheesy little picture line just to show you guys, just to show you what I'm talking about. And that's how I like to have my gears. It's like having a little arch in there. So if my voice sounds a little funny, it's because I'm stuffy right now. The whole braking thing, And the reason why my car probably isn't swinging out how it's supposed to be whenever I start pressing down my brake to brake shift, it's most likely because of the weight placement in this car. Like, you know, this car may have more front weight than needed, or may have more rear weight than needed, which gets a bit annoying. So don't mind the points that are getting started up right there. That's because I picked the wrong track, and the car feels like it's dying out a bit, and that's what I don't like. You know, I'm just losing speed, obviously because I'm brake drifting. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go tuning setup and go to last resort and beef that up a bit. Beef up the rear camber and toe. Now this is completely random, obviously. So we're gonna see how this plays out, because I want my car sliding. I want my car like ice. Now keep in mind, drifting these kind of tunes, you know, they're not hard. As long as you have like a nice steady thumb or finger, then you'd be fine. The only thing you have to do is just keep feathering it. I mean, for me, I just gas it because I'm used to it, and it just works. Right now I'm in 6th gear. Don't want to hit the wall, so I left the throttle a bit. Now my car's starting to shake. That's because my car's unbalanced with the camber and toe. I've been noticing that in a few of my tunes. So it may be best to put it back where it was before, because you don't want your car shaking everywhere. If it starts shaking everywhere, it's going to be a little bit hard to control during slow corners, and I don't like that. Just by experience. So let's tone it down a bit. Now most likely it's probably because of this PSI, but I don't think 3 points up to PSI is going to do much. And then obviously, instead of changing this, you could just mess with this a bit, but mess with one thing at a time. So how about put this at 3.0? Only go up by a little bit. Now you don't want to go up by too much, because then you never know how much it's going to affect the car. So I'd rather go up by a little bit so I can find that perfect balance point in your car. Now once again, keep in mind these springs are untuned, because they do absolutely nothing to my car when it comes to drifting. For me, unless you're doing tanning, you may have some side effects. For right now, I don't feel anything, and I started that a little too early. But we're gonna see what's gonna happen. Now you don't have to brake drift to take this corner. You can see, just lighten up on your angle, and you can just take it all the way. But you can see I kind of lost a bit, and I'm starting to spin out and oversteer a bit. Wow. That's probably because of the way internet, and because I wasn't really brake drifting. So we're gonna put this down here. I forgot where this was, so we're gonna put that 3.5 and put this at 3.3. I guess that's where it was. I'm not sure. And we're gonna try one more time, and we'll be done. I'm pretty sure you guys won't even be using this car on this track, or if you do, then for me, I'm able to pull a 70,000 for. 70,000 with any car, but like about 900 horsepower. So it shouldn't be a big deal. But if you do choose to use this car on this track, make sure you watch what I'm doing to get an idea on how I take this corner. You can see it starts very early. And whenever the points start, I tend to start my car a little earlier, which I need to stop doing, because I wouldn't use this car for this track. The other reverse I would, but not on this one. As you can see, right back to that balance point of my brake, my car is starting to get that control I was talking about. I was at full counter steer. It's nice and smooth, no problems. It's ice tunes, as people call it. People mostly call my tunes noob tunes, but I don't think many people know how to tune these cars like I do. And there you go. So now, if you guys are wondering why I base it off the first corner on most tracks, it's simply because the first corner on most tracks are always the hardest corners. In Repo Valley, I do the first 3 corners, because that's usually what most people talk about. I got this amount of point on this this section and that section, so I thought I'll do the highest, or the difficult section. Now keep in mind, the drift was started early. I lost speed and angle. So it does kind of balance out a bit, and if we was on the online reverse, I would say I would have had about probably 30.9 to 31.3. That's what I would say where my average would be at. And I became very good at predicting my scores ever since I've been trying to pull top 10s on most of these tracks. I am top 10 on this track. I'm not sure where I am exactly, but I think I may be 8th. I'm not sure if that modder is gone yet, or I'm not even sure if I moved up a bit. But I'll check that out in a second. The tuning video is basically done. So if you guys didn't see the tuning, here it is right here. I hope I explained it a bit. And like I said, you don't have to change these springs. It doesn't really make a difference from my experience. I mean, it may to you, but I mean, it doesn't make a difference to me. So anyway, I would like to thank everyone for checking out my tunes. I've been trying to locate that super tune that's so popular. Let me show you guys real quick. I've been trying to find the the unlocked version of it, asking if that person can send me it so I can start giving it out to people. I cannot find it. I kind of deleted it, or I saved over it by accident one day. I didn't think that this tune was going to get that popular, and so it's just gone. But for all the other tunes that have 100 plus downloads, that's kind of cool. Some of the ones downloading my tunes. Not to mention receive credits. My bad. We're gonna go to my profile here. My stats, I think it's on records. It should show, no, not records. Should say credits earned. 27 million credits earned. That doesn't seem too right. It should say something about storefront. Oh, okay, it does say storefront. But I know it's not that many downloads. I mean, if that many people have actually downloaded my tunes, that's pretty cool. But that's just showing the numbers. So I would say way more than 1,000 people have downloaded my tunes, obviously. So 1,000 divided by 27 million, or 27 million divided by, let me see if I can figure out how many people have downloaded my tunes. Now, I have my storefront up and running for a long time, so I mean, this probably isn't going to be the most accurate one, but I can guesstimate how many people have downloaded it. I'm going to need a few more zeros here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, nope, one more. Okay, divided by 1,000 equals 27,000 people have downloaded my tunes. I should have figured that one out, but I don't think that's right. I'll probably cut that in half, or maybe a little more than that, because I don't think that people have downloaded my tunes. I must have sold a car, because I don't believe that people have downloaded my tunes. I've never sold anything, like sold any kind of car in my storefront. That's the funny part. But anyway, to leaderboards. You guys know I don't really do leaderboards anymore. I just gave up on it. I don't really care. Yeah, there you go. I'm number 8. Henny's Venom. Oh, well, yeah, there you go. Alright, well, hope you guys enjoyed a little tuning setup. If you want another car tuned, just let me know. Gran Turismo video tomorrow. I'm not sure what I'm going to do on Tuesday, but I'll figure that out whenever it gets there. Hope you guys enjoyed the tune. Make sure you send a message to all your friends, recent players. Tell them to check out my channel if you are fond of my videos. That'll help me out, help me reach 800 subscribers, because we're creeping on there. So if we get 800 subscribers, we're very, very excited. Thanks for watching.